have been like brothers with all the miles and time we spent together. Yeah, we've seen it all. We've both seen changes in our time, busted dreams and detour signs. We keep rolling on. Brother highway, we've seen it.
Hey there, fellow wanderers, and welcome back to the Wandering Gypsy RV Life podcast, where the roads are long, the coffee is strong, and sometimes the most dramatic moments don't involve breakdowns, weather, or traffic. They involve your own vehicles demanding equal attention. I'm your host, Stan Cromlish, and today's episode is a lighter one. A behind-the-scenes look at the two members of my rolling family, my 2016 Tiffin Allegro Open Road 34 PA, Bertie Bea, and my trusty Chevrolet Equinox, Rosie. And yes, I've apparently reached the stage of RV life where my rigs have preferences, personalities, and opinions about how much spotlight I give each of them. The post that started a storm. So earlier this week, I posted a story about getting Bertie Bea repaired after the sideswipe at Ocean Lakes. It was a hit. People loved it, asked questions, shared stories. But later that night, as I was sitting inside Bertie Bea editing some photos, something hit me. I hadn't mentioned Rosie once. Not once. And if you traveled with the same rig long enough, you know that certain vehicles have a way of reminding you, quietly or loudly, when they've been overlooked. Rosie, my faithful Chevy Equinox, has hauled me to fishing spots, grocery stores, bait shops, trailheads, diners, scenic overlooks, and emergency tire shops across the country. She's handled Wyoming winds, North Dakota highways, Montana mountain grades, and more than a few, Stan, are you sure we can fit here moments. Meanwhile, Bertie Bea gets one sideswipe incident, and suddenly she's the star of the show. It made me laugh. Then it made me think. These two rigs each carry part of my story, part of this lifestyle, and part of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life identity. And I realized it was time to slow down and talk about what each of them means to me. What Bertie Bea means to me. Let's start with the big rig. Bertie Bea isn't just a motorhome. She's the heartbeat of how I live on the road. She's the place I cook, sleep, write, record, decompress, and roll thousands upon thousands of miles across America's backroads. She's carried me through 3 years of adventures, from the plains of Wyoming to the mountains of Montana, from RV rallies to quiet campgrounds, from sunsets over the desert to thunderstorms in the Midwest. She's taken hits, handled repairs, and still rolls smooth. And when I walk out of a store after grabbing supplies for the road and see her sitting there, all 36 feet of her, I feel this sense of belonging, like, yep, that's home. She's not perfect, but she's mine. She's the home chapter of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life. And then there's Rosie. But this lifestyle isn't only about the big trips across state lines. It's about errands, the scouting, the grocery runs, the fishing mornings, the narrow streets, the local shops, and all those little moments where you need something nimble, something quick, and something reliable. That's where Rosie shines. Rosie has taken me into towns where Bertie Bea would have taken out a stop sign. She's gotten me to those just a little farther down this gravel road fishing holes with Rowdy and Brian. She's taken me to doctor visits, hardware stores, taco stands, and tiny coffee shops tucked behind old brick buildings in towns nobody has ever heard of. She's handled icy roads, muddy roads, 80-mile-per-hour traffic, and parking spaces I had no business attempting. She's followed behind Bertie Bea faithfully across state after state, never complaining, never lagging, never missing a beat. Rosie is the mobility chapter of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life. She's the unsung hero until today. Keeping the peace and going to management. After realizing how lopsided my storytelling had been lately, I had to make things right. And if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you know when tensions rise, I call in management. And if you're new here, management is my mother. Now let me tell you, when you explain to your mother that your 36-foot motorhome and your Chevrolet Equinox are metaphorically fighting for screen time on your podcast, you don't get sympathy. You get silence, followed by, well, which one of them is insured under our names? I said, well, point taken. So I made a commitment. I'm going to do a better job highlighting both parts of this traveling team because both deserve it. And honestly, it was a good reminder. The RV life isn't just about the shiny moments, the rallies, the big drives, the scenic overlook. It's about the support vehicles in our lives, the tools, the people, the routines, and the little things that make this lifestyle possible. 2 rigs, 1 story. When I step back and look at both rigs, Bertie Bea and Rosie, I see a team, a pair, a partnership that makes all this possible. Bertie Bea is the vessel, the home, the slow roll through America. Rosie is the scout, the nimble one, the one who gets me into and out of the places where stories began. Together, they've carried me across 30 states, thousands of miles, and countless moments I wouldn't trade for anything. They've brought me to the North Platte River, to Medora, to ocean lakes, to rallies, rodeos, mountains, deserts, and everything in between. You could call them vehicles, but at this point, they're characters in the Wandering Gypsy RV Life story, and they deserve equal billing. Why this matters. I know this episode is lighter and more personal than usual, but it ties into something deeper about RV life. The gear and rigs we rely on become part of us. They develop stories, personalities, attachments. We trust them. We depend on them. We talk about them like they're old friends. Because in many ways, they are. So today's episode is my way of saying thank you to both of them for getting me safely down the road, for putting up with weather, roads, repairs, my fishing habits, and my impulsive, let's just drive a little farther moods. Bertie Bea and Rosie aren't just transportation. They're companions on this journey, and acknowledging that out loud keeps the peace around here. Thanks for riding along with this lighter and more personal story. Sometimes RV life is about systems and maintenance, and sometimes it's about the relationship we build with the rigs that carry us. Next week, we'll be back with more travel, more education, more rodeo, because Stan is flying to Vegas for the National Finals Rodeo, and more stories from the Wandering Gypsy RV Life. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow wanderer. You can find more stories, photos, and videos at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com. And if you'd like some behind-the-scenes extra, including that video with Ned Ledoux, head over to Patreon and join my campfire circle. And before I sign off, I want to give a quick shout-out to a few folks who help keep this podcast rolling. Techno RV, They've been my go-to for RV gear, from water filtration to GPS and everything in between. You can find their products through my affiliate link at technorv.com. Trust me, they'll help you adventure more and worry less. My Patreon community. You're the heart of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life Campfire Circle. If you'd like to get video episodes, bonus stories, and behind-the-scenes content, come join us. And finally, my good friend, Doug Simcox, and his podcast, Beyond the Chutes. If you love rodeo history, cowboy storytelling, and the legends of the arena, you'll want to give it a listen. Doug brings the past to life in a way that makes you feel like you're right there behind the chutes. Until next time, keep your rig rolling smooth, keep your coffee hot, and remember, sometimes the best roads are the ones the GPS won't even show you. And not all who wander are lost.
Brother highway, we've seen it all. Through the wind and the rain and the snowfall. And no matter how far out I roam, I need you, brother, to get me home.